welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be doing a review on the Pixi x Hello Kitty collab. If you do want to see a review and a demo, then please keep watching. As a huge favor, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and comment anything down below. I greatly appreciate it. I read all the comments and I'll do my best to reply back. I purchased 4 items from this collection. I picked up a lip tint, 2 highlighters, and 1 eyeshadow palette. These items are available on Pixi's website. I went to my local Target. They didn't have the display up yet, but they did have the items in the back. We're first gonna start off with the lip tint. This retails for $8. I do want to read a little bit about this lip tint. Works with lips pH level to give a tint that's an enhanced version of your own lip color. Goes on clear and adjusts to a pretty hue unique to you. Soothing and nourishing formula. Wear alone or on top of another lip shade. Paraben free, not tested on animals. Here's a closer look on what the packaging looks like. It says Pixi and Hello Kitty pH lip tint. You get 0.4 fluid ounces or 12 milliliters of product. Up at the top you have the shade name. This shade is called Prettiness. On this side of the packaging you have the list of ingredients. This has a 12-month shelf life and this was made in China. On the other side of the packaging you have the Sanrio logo and then you have a little barcode. On the back of the packaging you have a little description and then down at the bottom there's nothing. I like that the product is sealed up at the top and then down at the bottom there's 2 little seals as well. The packaging doesn't scream Hello Kitty to me. It's very watered down in my opinion. Here's what the back of the tube looks like. Let's open this up. Here's what the applicator looks like. The formula does feel a little bit sticky on the back of my hand and it did come out clear. Let's see what it looks like applied on the lips. Here's what the lip tint looks like. This shade is very beautiful. On the applicator, you can see a little bit of the pink that was applied on my lips. That's so cool. Formula doesn't feel moisturizing. Yeah, it doesn't feel moisturizing at all. I'm gonna apply a little bit more. I'm gonna press my lips together once more. Yeah, it doesn't feel hydrating on the lips at all. I like this shade, I just don't like the formula. I'm gonna leave it on while we apply the other products. The next 2 products are highlighters. We're first gonna start off with the smaller highlighter and then we'll move on to the highlighter palette. This highlighter retails for $18 and comes in 2 different shades. This shade is called Friendly Blush, the other shade is called Sweet Glow. You wanna read a little bit about this item. Silky soft radiance powders that add a touch of glow and a sheer of soft color. Natural mineral pigments blend perfectly into complexion, creating a soft finish. Here's a closer look on what the packaging looks like. This is called the Hello Glowy Powder. You get 0.35 ounces or 10 grams of product. Up at the top you have the shade name. Again, this shade is called Friendly Blush. On the side of the packaging you have the list of ingredients. Again, this is a 12-month shelf life and it was made in China. On the other side of the packaging you have the Sanrio logo and Pixi socials. On the back of the packaging you have a little description and then down at the bottom you have the barcode. Again, I love that the product has a safety seal on it up at the top and down at the bottom. I love the embossment, it's so cute. It says Pixi plus Hello Kitty and then on the back have the shade name. Again, it's called Friendly Blush, the list of ingredients, and then the 12-month shelf life. Let's open this up. Here's what the inside looks like. I love the cute little bow on Hello Kitty. Again, this is not giving me Hello Kitty vibes. It's very smooth in the pan. Here's what the shade in Friendly Blush looks like. Again, this is a highlighter. I blended that out on the back of my hand so you can see what it looks like. You could use this as a blush if you wanted to. Taking a clean highlighter brush, I'm going to dip into the shade in Friendly Blush. I'm getting a little bit of kick up. Let's see what this shade looks like. Wow, that's so beautiful. I would not use it as a blush. It does enhance texture. Pixi also released a 9-pan highlighter palette. This retails for $20. I do want to read a little bit about this highlighter palette. A multi-use face palette containing 9 universally flattering shades to add a soft luster effect to the complexion. The buttery, creamy powder formula blends like a dream and is infused with skin-loving ingredients. Here's a closer look on what the highlighter palette looks like. It says Pixi plus Hello Kitty Chrome Glow Palette. You get 0.9 ounces or 25.2 grams of product. Down at the bottom you have a little picture of Hello Kitty, well, half of her head, and then you have a little pink bow. I feel like Pixi could have done a little bit better with the outer packaging. The packaging doesn't scream Hello Kitty at first glance. On the side of the packaging it says Sanrio, and then you have Pixi's socials. On the other side there's a different language, and then on the very back of the packaging you have a little description. Again, it was made in China, and again, this palette has a 12-month shelf life. Up at the top there is a little safety seal, same thing down at the bottom. Here's what the actual palette looks like. Again, it says Pixi plus Hello Kitty, and then you have a little half of her head and then a cute little pink bow. On the back of the packaging, you have the shade names and the ingredients listed. I'm surprised that this palette has shade names. I wish they would have printed them underneath each shade. But let's see what the inside looks like. Here's what all 9 shades look like. We're going to start off with the first shade. Very soft in the pan. Here's what that shade looks like. That blended out very smoothly. This is more of a golden highlight. Let's see what the next one looks like. I forgot to tell you the shade names. The first shade is called Mimi, the second shade is called Tickle Pink, and the third shade is called Super Cute. Let's move on to the second row. The first shade is called Beau Glow. The next shade is called Playful. The last shade in the second row is called Kawaii. The first shade in the bottom row is called Lovely Luster. This formula is a little bit softer in the pan, that's why it's breaking apart. Here's what Lovely Luster looks like. The second to last shade is called Sweets. The last shade in the palette is called London. Here's what all 9 highlighters look like. No one needs 9 different highlighters, but let's see what the shade in Lovely Luster looks like. Again, I'm getting that fallout. This shade is a little bit more blinding than the first shade. I'm going to tone down the highlighter a little bit using my damp beauty blender. There we go, that's much better. The last item I purchased is the eyeshadow palette. This retails for $22. I do want to read a little bit about this eyeshadow palette. Energize the eyes with this limited edition eyeshadow palette. Use shades together or solo for multi-dimensional definition that will add an instant twinkle to your eyes. Here's a closer look on what the packaging looks like. It says Pixi plus Hello Kitty eye effects. And then of course you have half of Hello Kitty here with her little pink bow. You get 0.6 ounces or 16.8 grams of product. Up at the top you have the shade name of the palette. This is called Harmony Hues. On the side of the packaging there's just a different language, and then on the other side you have the Hello Kitty logo, the Sanrio logo, and again Pixi's socials. On the back of the packaging you have a little description, the ingredients. Again, this was made in China and this is a 12-month shelf life. Down at the bottom you just have the little barcode. This doesn't have that little safety seal up at the top, whereas the other products had it. Same thing on the bottom, there's no safety seal. Here's a closer look on what the eyeshadow palette looks like. Again, it says Pixi plus Hello Kitty. Then of course you have half of Hello Kitty and the little pink bow. On the back of the packaging you have the shade names and the ingredients. Let's open this up. It does also come with a mirror. Here's a closer look on what all 9 shades look like in the palette. The first shade is called Snow. Very soft in the pan. This is the only matte shadow in the palette. Here's what that shadow looks like. Let me blend this out. The next shade is called Whimsy. Here's what Whimsy looks like. This is a shimmer. The third shade is called Bright Side. Here's what Bright Side looks like. That's very pretty. Here's what it looks like blended out. The first shade in the second row is called Daydreamer. The next shade is called Granite. This is very soft in the pan. Wow, that's pigmented. Here's what Granite looks like blended out. The last shade in the second row is called Cranberry. Again, very pigmented with one swipe. Here's what it looks like blended out. The first shade in the bottom row is called Mocha. Here's what Mocha looks like. Here's what the shade in Mocha looks like. The second to last shade is called Mauve. The last shade in the palette is called Friends Forever. Here's what all 9 shades in the eyeshadow palette looks like. I'm not sure if I'm able to create a full eyeshadow look with this palette. There are 8 shimmer shadows and only 1 white matte shadow. Let's see what we can create. Taking a clean blending brush, I'm going to dip into the shadow in Snow. Apply this all over the crease, going back and forth using windshield wiper motions. That blended out very evenly. Using that same brush, I'm going to dip into the shadow in Daydreamer. Apply that right on top of the first shadow. Again, going back and forth doing windshield wiper motions. I like that shimmer. I'm getting a little bit of fallout, but that's totally fine. I'll clean that up later. Swapping my brush for a clean flat brush, I'm going to dip into the shadow in Mocha. Packing the shadow all over the lid. That shade is beautiful. Using my finger, I'm going to dip into the shadow in Whimsy. Pack this in the center of my lid. Again, I'm getting a little bit of fallout, but that's totally fine. For my inner corner, I'm going into the highlighter palette. I'm going to dip into the last shade. I'm just using a pointed pencil brush and apply this in my inner corner. I love that. I'm going to leave the eyeshadow the way it is. For mascara, I'm going to apply the Lash Princess from Essence. This is their False Lash Effect Mascara. Here's what the eyeshadow looks like. I wanted to keep the eyes very simple. I'm disappointed with this entire collection. Let's first start off with the eyeshadow palette. 8 shimmers are too much for one palette. They should have added more matte shadows in this palette. I think it would have been a better variety. I do like that the palette does come with a mirror, but that's basically it. I don't like the embossment of Hello Kitty. Same thing with the front of the packaging. They could have done way better. No one needs 9 different shades of highlighter. I don't like the design of Hello Kitty. Again, I feel like they should have made her a little bit up at the top. She's the focal point of this entire collection, and I feel like they missed the mark. The formula of these highlighters are really good, but again, you don't need 9. The only product I really did like was the single shadow highlighter. I think it looks really pretty on the cheek, but again, the embossment inside of the packaging, I feel like Hello Kitty could have been done way better. The last product was this PH lip tint. I did really like this shade, but I did not enjoy the formula. Pixi also released a makeup fixing mist, which retails for $15. They also came out with a sheet mask in this collection, which retails for $10. In addition to that, they also came out with these eye patches that retail for $24. And the last makeup item that they released was the Silky Eye Pen, which they didn't have at Target, and this retails for $12. I definitely feel like ColourPop did it way better with the Hello Kitty collab. You can see on the actual packaging they have a picture of Hello Kitty. Same thing with their holiday collection. You see Hello Kitty and then you have her friends. I just feel like Pixi missed the mark. Who at Pixi approved this collection? This does not scream Hello Kitty at all. They could have done a much better job. I would love to know your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, please do subscribe. I will see you guys in my next video.